Hello, everyone. This is Arnav from Golden Lion. At the outset, let me thank you for joining this very special webinar on how real estate agencies can leverage Zoho CRM to take their business to the next level. Okay, so I represent Golden Lion, and we are a Zoho premium partner. And over the last 6 years, we have done more than 250 implementations in about 30 plus countries. And we primarily specialize in building industry-specific CRM solutions on top of Zoho. Okay. Now, before we really talk about the real estate agency CRM solution, it's important to know that why we built this application in the first place. Now, reason number one, real estate agencies are looking for a simple system that helps them grow their revenue and deliver awesome customer experience. Number two, a system that combines marketing automation, sales pipeline management, customer feedback, everything into one single place. Reason number three, they want a single console, which is most important, to manage their properties inside their CRM as well as their website. Number four, they want the system to match the buyer needs with available properties in order to create the property recommendations automatically. Now, in terms of the real estate agency CRM solution, this application is built on the award-winning Zoho CRM platform. Now, it captures everything right from getting a lead to receiving a testimonial from the buyer or the seller. Now, you can access the application anywhere, anytime, and from any device. We kept the pricing super simple and affordable, and there is no locking period whatsoever. This application is meant for both residential as well as commercial brokerage agencies. Now, here's the structure of the application. In real estate agency CRM, everything revolves around properties. Now, this properties module will house all the residential and the commercial properties. And each property is linked with the seller or the landlord. Now, sellers and landlords are stored inside the contacts module. The properties from CRM can be pushed to your website property listing in just one click. However, please note that this service is available as an add-on to our real estate agency CRM solution. Now, the buyers or the tenants, okay, are also stored in the contacts module. Now, it could be both your existing as well as prospective buyers or tenants. Now, from the very first day when a prospective buyer or the tenant shows interest, till the time the deal gets closed, the entire sales cycle is managed via the deals module. Now, a deal might have multiple stages. So whether the buyer or the tenant is interested, whether the property recommendation has been sent or not, whether the site visit has been done, the property has been selected, whether the property is on the offer stage, the contract has been out, or the contract has been signed, and finally, you're getting your commission check. And during this entire cycle, you have one single place to record all your tasks, your events, the calls, the emails that get exchanged between yourself or your team members with your different contacts. You can capture the notes inside the application. You can track the social interactions. And of course, you get rich analytics in terms of how your agency is performing and where you need to focus next. Now, real estate agency CRM is being trusted by agencies of all sizes all over the world. Now, this is a mix of both residential as well as commercial real estate agencies. Now, this is what customers have to say about this application. So Ravi runs a company called Portico based in India. It's a residential brokerage agency, and this is what Ravi says. Perfectly customized Zoho CRM to suit our real estate use case. Great job by Golden Lion installing and helping us using it in the right way. Thanks a lot, Golden Lion. Thank you so much, Ravi. Dwayne runs a commercial real estate company. He's the president of GCT Commercial Real Estate. Great communication. CRM system came out as requested. We'll come back for future additional works. Now, Michael is the group marketing manager of Elan Property Group, South Africa. This is what Michael has to say. Now, with this backdrop, we want to jump into the demonstration of the application, which you have been waiting for. But before we get into the application, I just wanted to see that in case, is there any questions still now, whether you can hear me well. So I just wanted to quickly check that part of it. So give me just one quick second. I can see there are a couple of questions out here. Great, I can see that people are saying that they can hear me now. Perfect, perfect. Thank you so much. So let's move on to the demonstration part of it. So in the demonstration, we'll be primarily covering a couple of use cases over here. So the use cases that we'll be covering in the demonstration would be as follows. So how sellers can list their properties with you. So that's something that we wanted to cover in this demonstration. How to effortlessly publish your properties from CRM to your website in just one click. This is something going to be fun. So be there to see the magic over here. How to record the prospective buyers and the properties that they're interested in. How to generate the property recommendations based on buyers' criteria automatically. And of course, how to manage the offer and the closing stage, how to generate the commission invoice for your brokerage agency automatically, and how do you know when you get a kind of a new inventory that what are the matching contacts for that new property. Okay, so let's move ahead. So for this demonstration, we have created a demo website. So Estate King is the name of the real estate agency. Now in this website, there are multiple tabs like your home, there are listings where you have multiple properties which are listed. You as an agency, you would like to display the part of it. You have the testimonials from your customers, and of course, you have the contacts where people can contact you. Now, in this website, we also have a submit property form where your prospective sellers can actually submit their property details across to you. Now, let me go ahead and quickly fill up this form out here. Let's say there's a prospective seller who is trying to list their property with you. So let's put the name is Ralph. Let's say Ralph Martin. Let me put the number out here, their email. So let me put a dummy email out here. With you for sale of their property, and let's say it's going to be a resale property. Property category, let's say this is a residential property. Property type, let's say this is a residential apartment. They can also mention the location where the property is located. Let's say this is located at Bangalore West. They can also choose the sub-location where the property is located, how many bedrooms they have, let's say 2, how many, what's the square feet area. So let's say this is 1,000 square feet, parking space is 1, at which floor it is located. Let's say this is located at the 2nd floor, and what's the property price. They can put the prices out here. And then they can also attach multiple images to this property. So let me attach some of the images out here. So let's say I'm choosing one image. I can also attach multiple images. So let me choose the second image out here. So I've chosen 2 images out here. And I can put the precise address of my property as well. So let me put the address out here. Let's say 10 RV Road. Let me put the city name out here, the state name, the zip code out here, and the country. Okay. Now, with all these details, the prospective seller can go ahead and submit the property from your website. Okay. Now, just give me a few seconds because the photos are heavy, so it is getting uploaded. And give me a few seconds, so it will get uploaded soon. So please note that in your, if you as an agency, you have your existing website. Now, these forms can be embedded onto your existing website as well, or in case you're planning to build a new website, so that becomes way more simpler because we could really take it from scratch and we could build all of these things for you, putting the seller's form as well. So as I mentioned that the moment the form is submitted, so the seller has submitted the form over here. So let me go back to my CRM system out here. Okay, so give me one second. So I'm into my CRM system over here. Now, when I go back to my CRM system, and if I get inside my contacts module out here, so let me quickly refresh my contacts module out here. So I can see that in my contacts module, there's a contact that got created out here, okay, which is Ralph Martin. So if I get inside Ralph Martin out here, I can see that Ralph Martin, all the details that whatever is submitted, his contact details has come in over here. He has also been marked as a prospect, okay? And he is a prospective seller. And hence, in this category, in the seller category, has been marked as yes. That means he's a prospective seller. And this contact, related to this contact, he has submitted the property as well. So that property is been listed into the properties module. So if I get inside the properties module, I would be able to see that the property that he has submitted out here, all these details has been captured in this module. Okay, so that means the property listing is being listed for sale. It's a resale type of property. It's a residential apartment, and all the different attributes that he has really filled up. All of these things, including the photograph of the property, has come in very nicely inside the application. I can also see that the system has automatically created one activity for me as an agency in order to validate the property details, because it's a new inventory. So I need to possibly check and physically verify a lot of these details prior to listing it with my agency. Okay. So once I've done the validation, I can go ahead and close this activity from here. So let me close this activity. So the moment I close this one, it moved from open activity to the closed activities. And if I move back, now that I've validated my property, I could possibly make the kind of required edits in the property record. So I might want to assign a property number over here. So let me put a property code, let's say PA 12342. That's the property code I'm assigning out here. And the property initially, the status was under validation, and now that I've already validated the property, I could change this status to available so that my prospective buyers can now start looking at this property. And if I want to publish this property now on the website, I could say, yes, I want to publish this property on the website, and I also want to make this property as a featured property. So what happens, like in your website, there's a section also dedicated for the featured property. And the moment I do that, okay, I would also be able to see this property being listed under featured property as well. So let's do that, and I'll show you that as well. So with all these edits, I go ahead and save the property over here. So essentially what I've done, that I have validated the property. And once I've validated the property, I have decided to post it onto my website. So if I go back to my website now, in my website, if I go to my listings page out here, I could see that whatever the photograph, the property, all the details that whatever I've captured from within my CRM system, everything is now available in your website. Okay. Now, if I go to your home page as well, let me go to the home page, and I could see that this property is now also been listed under featured properties out here. Okay. So, and if you look at this property attributes, like whether the property has been listed for sale, what's the property price out here, the property images, the property code, the address of the property, the square feet area, the number of bedroom, bathroom, at which date it's been posted, everything being controlled by your CRM system. So essentially what you're doing now, that your website backend console actually becomes your CRM system. How cool is that? Okay, so let's pause for a moment over here. And if you have watched till now, you'll realize the power of this automation, that until now, your CRM system and your website, especially for real estate agencies, have been two silos with no connection with each other whatsoever. Okay, now you create and update your properties inside CRM, and you need to key in the same details once more into your website backend database. Now, this is a sheer wastage of time, money, and energy. Also, the frustration of records occasionally not matching between your CRM system and the website. Now, with this automation, you maintain all your property details inside your CRM, as I have shown over here, that within your CRM application, there's a section, which is the properties module, which is dedicated for storing all your properties over here. And from within this module itself, you decide that which all properties you plan to publish onto your website and whether you would like to mark this property as a featured property or not. Now, this can save tons of your money and productive time, which you can invest somewhere else. Okay, so we have covered two use cases until now. So first one was how sellers can list their properties with you, and the second, that how to effortlessly publish the properties from CRM to your website in just one click. Okay, now let me now go to the other use cases. That means how to record the prospective buyers and the properties they are interested in, how to manage the offer and the closing stage, and how to generate the commission invoice automatically. So let me go back to your website. So let's say that here's a property that a prospective buyer is now interested in. So they look at all the details, they get to the details, and they can see all the property photograph over here. They really like the property out here. And with the details, they plan to leave their details with you so that you in turn can contact them back. So the prospective buyer, they'll leave their details out here. Let's say their name is Henry Williams. They can update their number over there as well. With their email as well. So let's say Henry Williams @gilanconsulting.com. So this is the details of the prospective buyer, and they can go ahead and submit the inquiry for this specific property. So the moment they submitted the details via your website, so what happens inside the CRM system, if I go back to the contacts module out here, I would be seeing that in my contact module, if I just quickly refresh my CRM system out here, I would be seeing now that there's a contact which has been created, which is Henry Williams. Okay, so let me get inside Henry Williams, and I can see that Henry Williams is also a prospect out here, but he is a prospective buyer. Okay, hence it's being marked as a buyer as yes, and the contact type has been marked as a prospect. I could also see that system has automatically suggested the next action for me, that now that Henry Williams is interested for a specific property, please follow him up for the site visit. It has also created a specific deal for Henry Williams, that Henry Williams is interested for a specific property, and hence the deal has been created from here. And also it has created a record into the property feedback module, so that the moment the site visit is done, I could actually take the feedback from Henry, that what is his feedback about this specific property. So let me get inside the deals module now, and let me show the specific stuff which has been covered. Like, for example, the deal stage currently shows that the property has been selected because he has zeroed in on a particular property. And all the details, like, for example, the inquiry has come in via the website interested in page, who is the contact person, like Henry is the contact person over here. And all the other details, like he's planning to buy, and he's planning to buy a resale property, residential apartment, and the property that he has actually selected, the property gets selected over here automatically. Okay. Now, assuming that the site visit has been done, I could go ahead and actually change the site visit details. So I could say, okay, I have already done the site visit details over here. So I could mark this activity as complete out here. Okay, and in the property feedback as well, I could actually take the feedback. So let's say I go ahead and take the feedback from Henry. So I could say that the site visit has been done and the property has been selected by Henry. So with all these details, let me update the property feedback as well. Let me get to the deals module over here. Now that the property has been selected and by Henry, finally, it's time to get into the offer stage with Henry. So let's say this is the property asking price over here, and Henry proposes a price for this property. So let's say Henry proposes this price over here, and this is the date over here. So let me put the date. Let's say on today's date, he has given a specific price out here. So let me update the price as well. And in turn, possibly, we have also given a counter amount as well for the specific offer. Let's say the counter amount, it's a updated this part of it as well. And let's say this counter offer has been accepted by the buyer. So I'm saying that the offer is accepted now between the buyer and the seller. So with that, I could possibly update the final contract amount. So I could say this is the final contract amount. And from this deal, if the deal finally goes through, I'm going to get 2% as the commission amount. Okay. And if I now go back and if I say, okay, that the offer stage has been done now, and if I just quickly refresh the screen out here, I'd be seeing that the system would suggest me automatically that what to do next. So system is suggesting me that please follow up Henry Williams, whether he's keen to receive the contract for this specific deal. Okay, if he is, then possibly I could create a contract, and of course this contract can be created from the system as well. We could create those documents, and we could now that Zoho Sign is available, we could also send that contract for electronic signature from the prospective buyer. So I could actually capture all the details, like for example, now that the contract is I'm going to send it for signature, I can put a contract due date. Let's say by tomorrow the contract should be signed out here. And now that I've completed my open activity, so I could actually complete this part of it, that Henry has shown his interest to actually get a contract from me. So I could actually put it into the closed activities. And I could say that the contract is out now. So the moment I updated the system that the contract has been out, I could also see the system is suggesting me the next possible action step. So he's suggesting that why didn't you follow up with Henry Williams to sign the contract for this specific property? So what I could do that I could really set up a conversation with Henry and tell him to sign the contract. And now that the contract has been signed, I could actually capture the details like on which day the contract has been signed. So I could put, let's say, on today's day the contract has been signed. I can go ahead and update those part of it out here. And also I could once again close this activity from here. So this is done now. So the contract has been signed. So I could again go back and update my status over here. So I could say the contract has been signed now. And the moment the contract has been signed, once again, the system will suggest me that what's the next step. And the next step for me is now to get the commission check. Okay, so I could create a commission invoice automatically. So if I go down, I know my percentage, what I'm going to get, but I need to decide based on my contract terms that whether I'm going to get paid by the buyer or by the seller. Okay, and of course during the closing stage you can of course capture a lot of other details as well, like your attorney details, your inspection completion details, your title details, appraisal details, bank details, so on and so forth. I'm not getting to the depth of that, but the moment you're planning to get a commission check, let's say this commission is going to be from your buyer. If I say yes, so what happens, the system will automatically create an invoice for your commission in the name of the buyer. So if you look at this deal over here, now related to this deal, there's an invoice that gets created automatically. So if I get to the invoice, I can see an invoice has been created for Henry Williams and with this commission amount. So this is the amount which is being due, and I could just quickly send this invoice via email for claiming this commission. Okay, so this is how the cycle happens. So from the first stage, when a prospective buyer is interested, how do they submit their details? The moment they submit the details, it creates a contact and a deal. Against the deal, you could capture all the details, including the property feedback. The moment it's being done, the system will automatically suggest to you. You don't need to really remember anything. System will suggest to you all the different steps which is required till the time you actually close the deal. Okay, including automatically creating your commission invoice. Okay. Now, think of a situation where your prospective buyer may not have found the desired property onto your website, or they might not have sufficient time to really browse through all your inventories out here. So in that case, they might just want to leave their details with their criteria, and it could be your responsibility to really create a property recommendation based on the criteria that they have laid out. Okay, so let's say I'm a prospective buyer and I'm putting my criteria out here. So let's say my name is Tim, I'm putting my details over here. Let's say Team Taylor. Update my mobile number over here as well. The email address, there's a team.taylor@glandconsulting.com. And the requirement type, for example, I'm looking to buy a property. And let's say it's a new property. Property category, let's say I'm looking for a residential property. And let's say this is a residential apartment. And I'm looking a price between, let's say, this range to, I'm putting a range out here. Let's say the square feet area between 1,000 to 2,000 square feet. The number of bedrooms, let's say 2. Number of bathroom, let's say 1. And I could put the details over there, like on which location I'm really looking for this one. And with all these details, I can submit my inquiry via your website. Now, what happens, like the moment they submit their inquiry, please note that they have not really given the preference for a specific property. They have just given their criteria. Okay, so if you go back to your CRM system, and if I look at my contacts module out here, I would be seeing that in the contacts module, there's a contact which has been created, which is Team Taylor. And if I get inside Team Taylor, I again see that it is a prospect and they are of type buyer. That means it's a prospective buyer. And against Team, there's been a deal also been created. So I could see that Team Taylor has been created and the stage is interested out here. And the system is suggesting me that why didn't you send the property recommendations to Team Taylor based on the criteria that they have laid out. Okay. Now, what I can do now from this system, I could say, hey, I want my system to automatically look at buyer's criteria, match that with the available properties. That means properties which are available or maybe which is under offer, but definitely not those which are under contract, okay, or which has been already been sold. And then suggest me what are the properties that I could possibly send to Team for this consideration. So I could change my property recommendation created to yes. Okay, so that will create my property recommendation automatically. So let me quickly refresh my screen out here. And I would be seeing that the system, so give me one quick second. So let me create this part of it. Give me 1 second. Okay, looks like there is no matching property out here. Let me quickly possibly change the criteria out here and see that whether I've got a matching criteria. So system is suggesting there's no matching criteria out here. So I'm putting, let's say, 1 bathroom. Let me change the range out over here as well. So let me put my range to this much. And I can see that, let's say that if anything else that I need to mention, so let me quickly change that part of it. And I could possibly mention the Bangalore West out here. So let me quickly mention that part of it. And let me quickly run the property recommendation part of it real quick. And I can say create my property recommendation. So let me do that. So the moment I run this part of it, so let me check whether the system creates a property recommendation for me. And I can see the system has created a recommendation for me based on the available property out here. So it has checked on the available property and just created a recommendation for me automatically. Like these are the properties which are really matching with Team's criteria. So let me quickly see that how does this property look like. So let me quickly see this part of it. So give me 1 quick second. Let me download this part of it and show you that how does the property recommendation template looks like, which I'm going to send to Team. So it'll just take a few seconds to get downloaded. Give me 1 quick second. So my property recommendation is created now. So this is how the property recommendation is created with the name of the buyer and the criteria that has been laid out by Team, and with the details of the property as well, like which property, at what price, which location it is available, what is the prices of that, with all to Team over here. Okay, so with that, let me go to the last use case that I'm going to cover today, and after that we'll close the session. That the last use case would be that, for example, you just got a new property, okay, and you're not sure that who are those people in the past who have actually showed interest for those kind of properties, okay, and that's a very common use case with a lot of real estate agencies, and they really struggle. So with that, we have a specific function for that. So what happens, like, for example, let's say I've got a brand new property out here. So let me open the property out here. And I want to see that with this inventory, even before I do the property validation or I list it in my website, I want to see that who are my historical contacts who had this kind of need and they have not really closed yet. Okay. So with that, what I can do, I can actually create a matching contacts from here. So the moment I do a matching contact, what the system will do out here, it will create my list of matching contacts out here. So what it says that automatically this matching contacts have been created. So based on this property, these are all the people that I could potentially contact for this new property. Look at the power of this automation. This can save tons of your time. You don't need to manually search through each of your buyers in the past who is looking for similar kind of property. Okay, so that's something which can potentially save a lot of your time, energy, and money. Okay, now whatever you've seen till now in this webinar, and if you really want to take a no obligation test drive of this webinar of the real estate agency CRM solution, what we would really suggest that you could send us an email, and you can send us an email at littleho@glandconsulting.com with the subject line test drive real estate agency CRM, and mention your real estate specific use case out here, and we'll be more than happy to get into a discussion whether our application could be a good fit to you. Now, besides that, there's a website which is dedicated for this application, which is real estate agency CRM.com. So you can go to this website as well, real estate agency CRM.com. And in this website, you'd be able to see there are about 5 videos currently available. A lot of them are a pretty detailed one, and you could really check back those videos over here. There are a lot of new videos which is also coming up soon. So you could check back all those videos, and if you really want a test drive of the application, you could request for a test drive from here, and we'll be more than happy to send you across the test drive of the application and a subsequent demonstration as well in much more depth. In terms of the pricing of the application, we have kept the pricing super simple. This application is built on the enterprise edition of Zoho CRM, which is priced at $35 per user per month, billed annually, or if you're going to pay on a monthly basis, it's going to be $40 per month. Now, please note that if you're using an existing Zoho CRM Enterprise Edition or CRM Plus, it doesn't work on an existing instance. It has to be a brand new instance because the copy customization functionality would not work for an existing instance. So it has to be a new instance of Zoho CRM that needs to be set up. And we also charge a one-time fee where we transfer this entire travel agencies, the real estate agency CRM customizations with 15 hours of done for you service only at $997. Okay, and if the services, if you need more configurations, if you have more people, which takes more than 15 hours, beyond 15 hours, we charge $30 per hour. Okay. If you still have any questions, so please feel free to send out an email to this email address, and we'll be more than happy to take up those questions for you. So once again, thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you at the other side. It's been a real pleasure to have you in this webinar.